Hey, what is going on guys? How are you doing? And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can remove your washer fluid tank from your BMW E90, E91, E92, E93. And I'm pretty sure this also applies to the EX generation of 1 Series, as the washer tank is sat behind the wheel arch on the driver's side, shaped like this. It's a bit of a nightmare to get to, which is exactly why I'm making this video, to show you how you can get to it. Take it out, replace the motors, maybe clean the tank out, whatever it is you need to do. I'm going to show you how you can access it to remove it. Now, the reason that I'm going to be removing the tank is it is currently blocked. So when I turn the ignition on my car, I go to the windscreen wipers, you can hear the pumps going, but absolutely nothing is coming up and out. Now obviously that is going to be an issue, because if my car goes in for an MOT, it is going to fail. Fail because, well, there's no washer fluid. So getting the tank out, clearing it, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be some sort of sediment or something in the bottom of it, is a necessary job that needs to be done, which is exactly why I'm going to be tackling it. Now the tools to do this, it's not very many actually, it's just a few tools that if you work on your own car, you should have them laying around already. So I'm going to be using both of my jacks, 2 jack stands. I might only need 1 actually. I'm needing a breaker bar. I'm also going to be needing a socket set as well as a screwdriver set. Now that should hopefully be everything that we need. Just before we do get going, I'm going to show you that my washer fluid is full. So if I open my washer fluid, you can see the blue fluid in there is, you can see it's just moving. So it is full, but we're getting absolutely none of it come out. But step 1 is going to be quite an easy step. We're going to have to jack the car up and get the wheel off. So the first thing we're going to be using is our breaker bar with a 17mm socket on. So let's get to work. So that's the car jacked up now on a jack stand. I've also left the jack just in underneath the car, just for a little bit extra support. But this wheel is now loose because it's a rear-wheel drive car, so the car being in first gear, the rear wheels are locked, front wheels are loose. We can now get this off. Now when taking the wheel off, I recommend to just put your foot underneath it to give it a little bit of support, just like I've done, so it's not just going to fall right off. But that's all 5 of these wheel bolts removed. Now I'm going to get my hand in over the top of the wheel, pull it away from the wheel arch, and wheel it away. And with that, we now have access to the wheel arch. We're going to have to take the inner arch liner out on both sides, which isn't going to be too difficult. It's just like 10mm nuts and bolts, and then we've got some rivets, which are quite easy to take out. While you're here, I'd also recommend you to check on your brakes. So I've got loads of thickness left on my brake disc, and then my brake pads, same again. So brake seems to be all right. Anyway, this pipe here is the one that connects our washer fluid filler bit up here, which obviously goes straight down and then into the wheel liner, goes across along here, and then I'm pretty sure it goes down and then into the bottom of the tank like so. But like I said, we've got to take the arch liner out, so we're just going to go through, disconnect every bolt we see, like that one there, and then like these ones down here. We've got some rivets to pop out as well. I'm going to go through, disconnect or take off all of these, and we should be able to pull the arch liners away. And there we go, people, that is the arch liner removed. It was a little bit difficult. A few tips that I would say is this plastic piece of trim sits underneath all of this. So it kind of goes underneath that, I'm guessing that's a piece of the chassis, sits in that sort of gap, and it goes underneath the front under tray, and it's also on one of the bolts for the under tray. So I take that piece out because there is a bolt right there for the inner arch liner, which is hidden underneath it, and you'll struggle to get to it if you don't take that out. And another thing you want to do is pop the rivety bits out, which obviously were along here, with a very tiny screwdriver like this and a mallet, and be very careful because these little black pins should come out. Then use a trim removal tool to pop this out. Now I did forget to mention trim removal tools when we were on about the tools we're going to be needing for the video, so I recommend them. I also completely forgot about a torque wrench, because you'll need that when putting the wheel back on to do all the bolts up tightly. It's not necessary, but I would definitely use one to get your bolts at the correct torque level. And so the next thing that we're going to want to do is grab a bucket, or at least I'm going to anyway, because you can see the tank is blue all the way up to like here, so it is basically full. And just as I said, it wraps all the way up to like here on the wheel arch, so it's going to be a nightmare to get out. But like I said, first I'm going to get a bucket and take the filler pipe off, let all of this drain into a bucket so we don't lose our washer fluid. Then we're going to take the bracket bolt out here and I believe it should pull away. So to take off the filler pipe, all we need to do is push this clip in here, pull this one out, and then we should be able to pull the pipe away. There'll be like a rubber O-ring seal on it, so it might be a little bit tight, but if we push it in, pull it away, it should come off. Ah, it's going everywhere. Oh, I just got absolutely drenched. It's all over the driveway, but it's flushing out. That is just what we wanted to happen. Well, sort of. Okay, so we removed that line. Washer fluid got a little bit on the driveway. My hands got drenched, but we got a lot of it in the bucket. Now we need to remove this bolt right here, and then we'll see if we can remove the tank. So that is just a 10mm socket to remove this bolt. And yes, the tank is ever so slightly dropping down. What we're now gonna need to do is just remove these two, I think, these two bolts on the inner arch liner on this side. So we're gonna be able to just pull it down ever so slightly so we can get this down and out of the way. There we go, so we now should be able to pull this down and out of the way, which we can. We're keeping the bucket there because it is going to leak more and more fluid out. But we should be able to now pull this out the way. What I'm going to do is put the camera down and try and just get that over that. Okay, well, that was a bit easier than what I thought it was going to be. Now what we need to do is try and pull this out forward. Aha, it was held in on a clip. If you just pulled a bit harder, that clip just pops out. What we've got here is the motor or the pump that pumps the fluid around the car. Now I believe if you had headlight washers, which this car does not, there'll be a pump here which works to obviously pump fluid and clean your headlights, but I don't have that, so I don't have a pump here. And if you had the E91, I think it's the E91, which is the estate version, you'll have a pump there for the rear window. But as I only have windscreen washer jets, that pump there does my windscreen washers. Now we're going to want to remove this. There is just that pull tab there, that electrical pull tab. If you pull that in and lift the connector up, it should disconnect. And it did. And then we should be able to just pull that pump out. Ah, you pull it towards you and then up. Ah, there we go. The pump is disconnected. Now we should be able to get all the cables underneath the washer tank. We have, but to show you a bit closer up, we've pulled the pump out of here. We've disconnected the electrical connector off of the pump. We've moved the electrical connectors underneath the tank because we need to do that to get it out. And then there's electrical wire just plugged onto the back of the tank there. And then there's one more electrical connector, which is your flow level sensor. You need to disconnect that. We should be able to just pull the tank out from this wheel arch. It's actually not been as hard as I thought it would be. It's quite straightforward. At the end of the day, cars are just nuts and bolts. If you're feeling a little bit intimidated by it, don't be. I was a bit intimidated by doing this job, and it's proved quite straightforward so far. Now, as that stopped dripping, we're going to disconnect the flow level sensor. There we go. That is that disconnected. We should be able to remove the tank, and well, we have. That is the old tank removed. And yeah, that was quite straightforward. So I had a little look and done a bit of testing, and I think the pump is broken because yeah, this little white bit at the bottom is not spinning, and it seems to be like just really loose and broken. No air seems to be getting pushed out either, so I'm gonna have to buy a new pump and fit it tomorrow because it's too late today. So I'll see you guys tomorrow with the brand new pump. And it is now the second day, and I've got a brand new washer pump right here, which will fit onto the tank, and I believe this is now going to work. Well, it should do because I think I know the issue. So this pump right here is the old one, and this little white bit here, as you can see, it is very, very loose. There's like absolutely no resistance or tension. And I'm guessing this spins up when you pull the stalk back on the steering wheel to obviously drive the motor to pump washer fluid onto your windscreen. And yeah, this doesn't seem to have any sort of strength or connection to the actual motor itself. But this is the brand new motor, and if we come to it and have a look at this white bit is, it's stiff. It literally will barely move. So I think that had snapped off or somehow came off from the old one, and the new one that seems to be fixed. And I'm just gonna plug it in and test it and see if it does work. Okay, pull it. Oh yeah, that's spinning up. Yeah, that's working just fine. So I reckon that new motor was the issue, or the old motor was the issue. And now we've got this new one connected. we're just going to pull it right back off because we need to get it on to the washer tank first. So I've got the tank here and the pump, and I've not really cleaned it up too much because I don't think I'm going to need to. There's definitely no like gunk or anything inside of here because I can see that, but if there was, you might want to take like a pressured pipe or something, blast some water in there and try and get as much of that out as you can possibly get. But now what we're going to do is take the pump, we're going to put it at like a funny angle, sort of like this, and just push it down and in for now. There, so once it's pushed down like that, we're now going to slide it backwards, and as you can see, just there's a little bit of plastic which is stopping this from sliding backwards. So we're going to push down and then back, and just like that, the pump is in place. It's not going to move anywhere, it can't go up and down, can't go backwards and forwards unless you push down and pull it out. And so with the brand new pump on, we should be able to get this filler tank back in the car. So the first thing we're going to do when reinstalling is make sure we grab this electrical wire right here, and we're going to put it underneath the bottom of the tank, just like so. So it comes around to this side of it, and then we're going to slide in the sensor connection first. There's a clip back on, and then there's also a little clip for holding electrical wires out the way. That also needs to be popped back in, and there we go. Now we're going to put the electrical connector on for the pump, and then we're going to just sort of slide this into place. We're going to spin that round, and then we're going to pop the hose that connects the pump to the washer jets on the bonnet, and we're just going to push that in to connect that on. And now we should be able to slide this back into place. And I'm pretty sure that is the tank in place, or very close to being in place anyway. And now we're going to take that 10mm nut and we're just going to thread it in up here to hold the tank still. And then finally, we're going to push the filler pipe back in, just like so. But now I'm going to pop some washer fluid back in the car, pull the stalk and see if we get any on the windscreen. Well, that is some washer fluid filled up. Now, moment of truth. Yes, it worked! Oh, fantastic. We've got washer fluid. Let me get in the car actually and do this because I don't want to get washer fluid all over me, but oh, yes. That is beautiful. I'm very, very, very happy with that. It was just as simple as the pump going in the end. And yeah, now we've got working washer fluid again. Really quite straightforward actually in the end. It seemed like it'd be a daunting job, but it's not too bad. I know it's obviously tucked in behind the wheel arch, so it's a bit of a pain in the bum, but all in all, that was actually quite a straightforward job. But let's get the car back together, get it back on the ground, and hopefully this will not be able to fail an MOT afterwards because it's got brand new windscreen wipers recently and now working wash fluid. Perfect. And boom, we're all back together. You wouldn't even know that we just fixed that issue. It looks brilliant. But now all we need to do is just fill the washer fluid back up with some mixed cherry scented washer fluid. This smells so good. That's 2 litres poured in. We're about up to here or so on the pipe. So I think that is job well done. I'm happy with that. We can close the bonnet. There we go. And just to be sure, we're gonna check it one last time, but I'm almost certain that it's gonna work. Here we go then. Brand new pump on the washer fluid. Is this gonna work? Oh yeah, you better believe it's gonna work. Get in, I am so happy with that. We actually fixed something for once. So if you guys found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you could go down there and subscribe to my channel. In the last week or so, I've reached 2,000 and now 3,000. And I think by the time this video is up, I could even be at 4,000 subscribers, which is just absurd. I cannot thank you guys enough for subscribing and watching my videos. I appreciate it so much. And if you're subscribing right now, if you could hit the like button as well, I would just love that. It would make my day so much better. But with another issue on my E90 fixed, I think it's time for this car to go to BMW to find out what the oil leak issue is, so that then we can fix that ourselves and then I think we'll probably have a pretty good car by that point. So thank you guys ever so much for watching. If you're interested in how-to videos for cars, I suggest following the channel, following my page. And if you'd like to become a member, like these guys on screen right here, hit the join button. For £2 a month, you can become a member. I think it's time I actually start doing some special behind the scenes footage or whatever it is for my members. But until the next one, have a great week, guys, and I will catch you then. Peace out.